Hi guys, welcome back to CocoCaviar. My lovely wife Anastasia and I are going to discuss fantasy football today. So, you take it from here, sweetie.
Alright guys, so for those of you that are into football, it's football season and I couldn't wait. I wasted all year, like I kept asking him over and over, when is football, when is football? This is because last year for the first time, I played fantasy football and I had my own team and it was the most exciting thing ever. Well, not ever, but like one of the most exciting things. And I made it to playoffs. I picked my team all by myself.
She did.
But I ended up 4th overall. But I think that was pretty good for my first time.
So she absolutely knew nothing about American football, knew nothing about the players, nothing about the game, nothing about the positions, nothing about the statistics or anything, and literally learned the game in an incredibly short amount of time, and like started doing research. And I would come home and she would start throwing out statistics and who's injured and why she thinks a particular running back would do well or a particular receiver would do well against the D-back or a particular defense. I was blown away. So now, this summer, she's like, when's fantasy coming? When's fantasy coming? So obviously now we're into week 3, going into week 3 in our fantasy league. And she picked her own team. She actually helped me. I'm in 2 leagues, so she helped me pick one of mine. And she's good. There is no doubt she is good, and she made the playoffs last year on her own. Did you want to talk about how we broke our brand new sofa trying to look at the scores on fantasy on the first game?
Oh.
The first game last year, okay? I was beating her by like 1 point. There was like a minute left to go. And we had our phone charging because, you know, we're checking the scores on ESPN. We're checking the scores. So she had a player, Jordan Reed was going, and he caught a pass, and we were in a yardage league at the time, and we weren't sure how many yards he got on the pass. So we both dove for the phone while it was charging over our sofa and fighting over the phone. And the sofa was what?
3 days old.
3 days old. And we snapped the arm of the sofa while we were both jostling, trying to get the phone to read our fantasy football scores. And as it turned out,
I won.
she beat me. So
And
Jordan Reed had enough yardage. He ended up
I think I beat him like 1 point.
by like 1 point with like a minute left in the game. It was just, as those of you that play fantasy know that it was one of those. So.
But funny enough, the next time we met up to play off again, I won.
She beat me twice.
Yeah.
So.
But I can't boast too much because I feel like maybe I just had first timers luck last year. And this year,
First timers luck.
because this year, I feel like I don't like my team. I don't really like my players. I got stuck in the middle of draft. I was number 7. I didn't like the players that I got, so now I'm like kind of upset. And I'm like just trying to figure out how I'm gonna survive. I won week 1. I lost week 2, so I'm 1-1, and it
0-2.
sucks.
In our league, I'm 0-2. So.
In his own, he's 2-0.
I'm 2-0.
I helped
in
to
my
pick
other
his
league.
team.
Not,
Yes or no?
I just said you.
Okay. So anyway, so we're discussing fantasy football, who we like, who we don't like, what we wish we could change in our teams, and
So who would you like to change? Can I ask you a question? Like just for fantasy football, for those, it's 16 weeks of torture.
yes, you pay. You put money in to join a league to be tortured for 16 weeks.
There's not a person out there that plays fantasy that throughout a Sunday isn't being miserable. I mean, yes, there's that 1 or 2 games that your team will be awesome and you'll have a blowout, but the other 14 games that you're playing, you're absolutely miserable. You're yelling at the TV, you're looking at your scores constantly.
You're pissed at your players.
You're mad at your players. It's 16 weeks of just being miserable. I don't know why we love it so much. But it's addictive and it's fun, but
Exactly, I think it's addictive.
like this household on Sundays, you know,
I watch the red zone because I need to see every touchdown.
She
I need
watches
to
the
see
NFL
every
red
sack
zone.
when my defense is playing. Oh my God, gosh, baby, our banner
See
fell.
when you got so excited saying sack that the banner fell. See how intense she gets? She gets very intense. Our Eagles banner.
Gosh, let me
All right,
fix
we're
it.
back. All right, let's.
Right.
Minor technical difficulty.
Technical difficulties. We're back and we're ready. All right, so what were you going to ask me?
Oh, well, who don't you like on your team currently?
Number one on my list is Rob Kelly. Rob Kelly this, blah, 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 blah. He looks strong for the Washington. Blah, 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 blah. Rob Kelly hasn't done shit. I'm sorry.
You got to bleep that out.
I can see shit.
I guess she can.
He hasn't done anything for me.
This
And now he has a bruised rib. And he's going to be wearing protective gear. And what? Do what? 3 snaps? And that's it? Wasting my time.
This is great. I love
Doug
it.
Baldwin, Seahawks. I'm not sure if I should be mad at him, mad at the offensive line, or mad at Russell Wilson. But it's not Russell's fault. It's the offensive line. So you guys need to strengthen that up so that he can throw the freaking ball and he will not be running for his life and my guy can catch the ball. He was one of my high picks.
Yes, he was one of your high picks.
So I'm pissed. So now I'm going to be benching him this week. And if he scores this week, oh my gosh.
You know what's going to happen. You know you're going to bench him and he's going to score. Because that's what happens, and that's what puts us through this misery for 16 weeks.
I think what's worse is when you bench a player and then they light up your bench. I think that's worse than when you just than when you're like gonna pick up a player off the waiver wire and then you just decide not to. I think benching a player and they light up your bench is worse. It's like
Okay.
more painful and you're losing on top of it. You're losing and all the points are sitting on your bench.
Yeah, she doesn't like that. Nobody likes it, but she especially does not like it.
But it's funny when your opponent does it though.
Art, who else are you struggling with?
I would just say those two. Doug Baldwin and Rob
My
Kelly.
love
Those
and
are
my
your two.
hates. Okay. Well, I do have Jordan Howard. He's injured. Has a shoulder injury, but according to her, she has faith, saying that Jordan Howard is. She picked him up. I guess he didn't start the season last year. He had 1,300 yards. Playing whatever it was, 10 games or 13 games. So we'll see. I'm waiting for Marshawn Lynch to,
Be the beast that everybody says he is.
Right. I'm
Beast mode.
waiting for that. I have Odell. I don't know. I'm just so beyond
I
frustrated.
don't know why he took out Odell. I knew Odell
It was my
gonna
number. That
start.
was my number one pick. I was a 4th round pick, or I'm sorry, I had the 4th pick. She had the 7th pick. I took Odell. It's a solid pick. He had ankle injury, but just the offense overall, the Giants this year. Which, as an Eagles fan, I could care less. Okay, if the Giants are horrible, could care less. I actually prefer it. I hope their offense sucks. Okay, I hope they do horribly.
I apologize if we have any Giants
I don't care.
followers, okay, guys?
So I hope they are horrible.
Still subscribe,
I hope they have
we still love you.
16 weeks of just misery of losing games. But that being said, I have Odell Beckham, and I need him to get me at least.
I had Odell last year, and he did good
No.
for me last year.
You were yelling at him. You were yelling at the screen.
Yeah, but
you're
he
like,
did-
oh, Odell's not all that and all that stuff. And then he would light it up and,
And then,
fall
yes,
off.
that's who
light
was
it- right.
inconsistent.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
So, I have Tyreek Hill, which was my pick of the draft because I think I stole him. Had
Marcus
one good
Mariota.
game, not really doing much for me. I have great receivers. I have Michael Thomas, Demaryius Thomas, Tyreek Hill, and Odell Beckham. That's a solid receiving core. This is not a PPR league, by the way.
It's a standard.
It's a standard league, 10 teams, so it's a little bit robust with. But we're also playing 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers,
and a flex.
a tight end, flex, and a defense. So, I don't know. I'm 0-2. I think my team's better than that. Oh, and then here's the best part. Here's the part on fantasy. Here's my pet peeve of fantasy. So your pet peeve of fantasy is when you bench a player and they score points and it
Yes.
drives you nuts. Here's my pet peeve of fantasy. My pet peeve is when I lose to somebody that has the highest score of the week, and if I played all the other 8 teams, I would have won. That drives me insane. So in other words, you have 200 points, I have 180 points, I play you, I lose, but everybody else has 150 points or less. That absolutely drives me insane. And yes, I have I have a decent amount of points for, but I have the highest points against, so I'm 0-2. But I have made some moves this week. I did 4 drop ads, and I feel pretty good. Why are you laughing? What's so funny? Nothing's funny.
Nothing's funny.
This is serious. What's
It is
funny?
serious. It's not funny.
What are you laughing at?
Your facial expression.
Yeah.
Baby, it's not funny. I'm sorry. Let me give you a kiss. It's not funny.
Keep it up.
Anyway,
Keep it up.
it's not like I'm playing against you.
No, you're not
James.
playing against me.
So, another thing that is a pet peeve of mine with fantasy football is those announcers on those radio stations and on TV. Blah, 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 blah. This one's going to do this. This matchup is great. Blah, 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 blah.
They
You
know
listen
nothing.
to them. You bench people based on the crap they're saying, and then I feel like punching them through the television. Because I go against my better judgment, my instinct. My instinct tells me, put this person in. Then I hear something like, you know what? Maybe they know better than I do. And I listen. And then I just want to pelt my phone at them.
Yes. Yes.
I wish someone warned me that this is addictive. It can drive you crazy. And it's like torture for 16 weeks.
I think she learned yelling at the TV from me. Is that safe to say?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love yelling at the TV. I love cheering and I love yelling
All
at
right,
the TV.
come on, close
and-
up. Let's
all
close
right.
it up, baby. Let's wrap it up.
All right, so anyway, sweetie, go ahead. You close it up.
He doesn't like when I put him on the spot. All right, guys. So, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you would be notified when we release our next video. For those of you playing fantasy football, I hope your team is lighting it up. If not, check out that sleeper play on the waiver wire, and hopefully they carry you through to playoffs. All right, guys?
That was great advice.
Yes.
It was.
Thanks, love. Okay, guys. See you next week. We always love when you're here with us. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye.
Bye.